A lot of loan officers and realtors are still playing by the old rules. They think local visibility means posting on Instagram, showing up at networking events, maybe boosting a post, maybe asking for referrals and hoping that when somebody finally needs help, their name comes up. But that is not the full game anymore, because today, people are not just searching. Think about it. They're asking. They're asking Google, they're asking ChatGPT, they're asking AI-powered tools. They are asking answer engines, no longer search engines. They are typing in things like, who is the best mortgage lender near me for a first-time homebuyer? Who is the best local realtor for relocation? Who really understands VA loans in my market? Who knows this area? Who can explain the process clearly? Or better yet, who can I trust? And when those platforms go looking for the answer, my question for you is, do they find you? Or do they find the person in your market who has done a better job making themselves digitally visible, locally relevant, and easy to understand online? That is what we are talking about today. Because if you want to win in the next era of search discovery and customer trust, you need to stop thinking about SEO and start thinking about AEO, answer engine optimization. In plain English, how do you make yourself easier to find, easier to understand, and easier to recommend across all of the AI platforms? That is what we are breaking down today. What's up, everybody? I'm Dustin Owen, and this is the DO Show. They don't teach this shit in school, but they should. I'm Dustin Owen, and for the past 20 years, the mortgage industry has been my classroom. I've helped over 2,000 families become homeowners, built a $1 billion mortgage operation from scratch, and earned my way into the top 1% of income earners worldwide. Along the way, I became a real estate investor, a business owner, and have invested in over 20 tech startups, even hitting a 20x return on one of my investments. This isn't theory, it's experience. Welcome to the DO Show, where I teach the lessons life taught me the hard way. Today, we are talking about something that a lot of people in this business are hearing, but not really understanding. And that is this idea of becoming locally visible on AI platforms. Think Gemini, think Claude, think ChatGPT. You have probably heard terms like AI search, answer engines, AEO, or even AI optimization. And like a lot of things in our industry, the second a new term shows up, people start acting like there is some secret formula, some hidden trick, some silver bullet. But there's not. This is not magic. This is not some weird hack. This is not a gimmick. This is really about making sure the internet understands exactly who you are, where you work, who you help, and why somebody should trust you. That's it. Because if the internet cannot clearly understand you, then AI platforms are not going to confidently recommend you. And that's what matters. Because the consumer journey is changing. People are no longer just going to Google and typing in 2 or 3 words. They are asking complete questions. They are asking for recommendations. They are asking for comparisons. They're looking for actual guidance. And the professionals who are easiest to identify, easiest to verify, and easiest to connect to a local market, well, those are the people who are going to have the competitive advantage. So in this episode, I want to walk you through what you should be doing right now. None of this is going to be theory. We're going to not just stay surface level, and it's not going to be just post more content. I mean, actual steps you can take right now as an LO or a real estate agent to increase your local visibility across AI-powered search and answer platforms. And the beautiful part is this: if you do these things, you are not just helping yourself with AI. You're helping your brand, you're helping your website, you're helping your search visibility, you're helping your authority. You are helping trust. You are helping conversion. So let's get into it. Step 1. The first thing you need to understand is this: The game has shifted from just being known to being understood. That's a huge difference. Think about it. Let it sink in. A lot of people are known. A lot of people have social profiles. Most everyone has a website. Most people are even doing content. And a lot of people have some kind of a local presence. But being known and being understood are not the same thing. You may be visible to people, but are you clearly understandable to the platforms? Can Google tell exactly what you do? Can AI tools figure out who you are, what you specialize in, what city you serve or cities you serve, what kind of clients you help, what kind of problems you solve? Because if those answers are vague, inconsistent, or scattered all over the place, then you're creating confusion. And confusion is the enemy. If one place calls you a mortgage advisor, another says branch manager, another says speaker, another says coach, and nowhere do you clearly explain what you do in your local market, then you're making it hard for the web to classify you. And if you are hard to classify, then you're going to be hard to surface. That's why all this matters. AI visibility is not just about content volume. It's about clarity. It's about consistency. It's about context. It's about being easy to retrieve. The question is no longer just, do people know my name? The question is, if somebody asks the internet for the kind of help I provide in the market I serve, do I make sense as the answer? And once you start thinking that way, your whole strategy changes. So let's get into step 2. The next thing I would do is clean up your digital identity. It's pretty basic. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. And it sure as heck is not exciting. But this is where a lot of professionals are losing before the game even starts. You need consistency across the board. Your name should be consistent. Your title should be consistent. Your company name should be consistent. Your market should be consistent. Your positioning should be consistent. Your contact information, guess what? You guessed it. It should be consistent. And even your branding should feel consistent. These are all things that my team and I are working on currently, while we also produce content to teach you based on what we're working on. If your Instagram says one thing, your LinkedIn says something else, your website bio says something totally different, your YouTube channel, if you have one, says something different, then you're muddying the water. You want the internet to be able to say, this person is a local mortgage professional in this market. This person helps these types of clients. This person is associated with this company. This person creates content around these topics. This person appears active and, most importantly, legitimate. That's the goal. So here's what I would tighten up immediately if I were you. Your website homepage, your about page, your social bios, your LinkedIn headline, your YouTube about section, your Google business profile, if you have one, your Facebook business page, your online directory listings, and any local bio pages or team pages that you may appear on. And the language should be simple. Don't make it bloated. Don't make it corporate. And sure as heck, don't be vague. Do not say things like committed to excellence and exceptional service. That means absolutely nothing. Say what you do. Say who you help. Say where you do it. Say why it matters. For example, I help first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, and self-employed borrowers in Central Florida navigate the mortgage process with clarity. Or I help buyers, sellers, and relocating families make smart real estate decisions in Orlando as well as the surrounding areas. Both those are clear. They're useful. It's something that the web can understand. Step 3 is this. Your website cannot just be a brochure anymore. It has to become an answer machine. Too many mortgage and real estate websites still look like they were built for a different internet. They're placeholders. A couple smiling photos, a generic line or two, maybe a contact form, maybe a bio, maybe a services page and a headshot that looks like it comes from the 1990s. But the consumer today is asking very specific questions. And answer engines need content that speaks directly to those questions. So when I say turn your website into an answer machine, I mean this. Your website should clearly answer, who are you? What do you do? Where do you work? Who do you help? What makes your approach different? What types of situations are you best suited for? What questions do people ask before they hire you? That means adding pages and content around real topics. If you are a loan officer, first-time home buyer questions, self-employed borrower questions, VA loan questions, FHA versus conventional, down payment questions, credit score questions, closing cost questions, local affordability questions, and condo financing questions are the questions you should be answering. If you're a realtor, best neighborhoods for families, best areas for commuters, what relocation buyers need to know, what sellers should do before listing, what buyers misunderstand about the market, what a home costs in different parts of town, local lifestyle guides, property tax realities, insurance realities, as well as homeowners association realities. Those are the questions you should be answering. And if your website contains clear, useful human content, answering those questions in the context of your market, you become way easier to pull up in that answer stream. So do not build pages around keywords, build pages around conversations. Build pages around the actual questions your clients ask all the time. Most of you already know the top 20 or top 25 questions you get every week. Write them down. That's your content plan. That's your website strategy. This is your AEO roadmap. Step 4, get specific about your market. One of the biggest mistakes people make is staying too broad. They cast too wide of a net. They want to be known for everything. They want to serve everyone. They want to talk in generalities. But generality is weak. Specificity, well, that's what's strong. Be specific. You do not need the internet to think you are a mortgage expert somewhere in America. You need the internet to understand that you are a trusted mortgage or real estate professional in a specific market. That means you should be constantly trying to create content, tie it to your bio, tie it to your pages, your city, your county, your neighborhood, your region, your service area. You need local relevance. So instead of just making content on home loans, make content on home loans in your market. Instead of just making content about buying a house, make content about buying a house in your city. Instead of just saying you help relocation clients, make content for people relocating specifically into your area. The more clarity your expertise is attached to geography, the easier it becomes for platforms to associate you with local intent. That's a big deal because when people ask questions with local implications, they do not just want a general answer. They want context. They want someone who knows the area, someone who understands the pace of the market, someone who knows the neighborhood, someone who understands what is actually happening out there. So you make sure your market shows up everywhere. It's in your written content, your video titles, your page copy, your reviews, your profile language, your FAQs, your examples, and even your testimonials. Local relevance is not implied. You need to state it over and over and over again. Step 5, own your Google business profile. So many of you don't do this, and it's an easy step. It's one of the easiest wins available to local professionals, not just mortgage and real estate. And yet a lot of people either ignore it altogether or they treat it like an afterthought. Your Google business profile matters, like a lot, because it helps establish legitimacy, relevance, and local presence. And if it is incomplete, inconsistent, outdated, weak, well, that creates friction. So tighten it up. Make sure the name is correct. Make sure the category is correct. Make sure the description is clear. Make sure the phone number is current. Make sure the website is correct. Make sure the hours are current. Make sure the service areas are clear. Make sure the photos feel current and legitimate. Then go deeper. Add more photos. Add team photos. Add office photos. Add event photos. Keep it active. And then there's this big one. Y'all know what it is? Reviews. You need real reviews, detailed reviews, context-rich reviews. Not just great job or highly recommended. Don't get me wrong, those are fine, but they do not do much heavy lifting. What you really want are reviews that mention the type of transaction, the actual city, the client experience, the communication, or the complexity, as well as the result. For example, Dustin helped us buy our first home in Orlando and made the mortgage process feel clear from the start all the way to the finish. Or we were self-employed and had a lot of questions, and Dustin Owen helped us understand exactly what we needed. That kind of language matters because it creates context. Reviews are not just reputation signals, they are content. They help tell a story, and they more importantly help tell a story of who you helped and how you helped them. Step 6 is this: build content around questions, not just topics. This is where a lot of people get lazy. They think in broad topics: rates, housing market, first-time buyers, selling tips. Way too broad. You want to think in questions because that is how people interact with AI tools. They're asking things like, should I buy now or wait? How much down payment do I need? Can I qualify if I'm self-employed? What credit score is required? What is the difference between FHA and conventional financing? What neighborhoods are best for young families? What is the smartest way to sell and buy at the same time? Is new construction worth it in this area? That right there, y'all, that's your content map. So if you are sitting there saying, I don't know what to post, it's nonsense. You know what to post. You just have not organized your client questions. Start with the questions your audience asks every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. Then turn each question into a blog, a short video, a long-term video, a reel, an FAQ, a newsletter, or heck, maybe even the title to your next YouTube video. One question can become multiple pieces of content. That is how you work smarter. And do not just answer these in video and call it a day. Put them into text. Write them on the site. Summarize them clearly. Give the web something to work with. Because some of you are creating video content, but none of your value is living on your website. You have all this intelligence buried inside a video, and your website still says some vague nonsense like helping dreams come true. That's not enough. Extract the value, put it into words, make it discoverable. Which now leads us to step 7. Create local authority, not just content. Posting content does not automatically make you an authority. It just makes you active. And don't get me wrong, being active is the first step. Authority comes from consistency and coherence. Over time, the web starts to associate you with a certain category of expertise in a certain market. That is what you want. You want repeated signals. You want somebody to be able to look at your digital footprint and say, this person clearly knows this market. This person clearly talks about these issues. This person clearly helps these kinds of people. This person clearly has real experience. So you need themes. If you're a lender, maybe your themes are first-time buyers, self-employed borrowers, move-up buyers, local affordability, market education, and loan strategy. If you're a realtor, maybe your themes are relocation, family-friendly neighborhoods, move-up buying, selling strategies, local market shifts, and just overall community knowledge. Pick the themes that fit your real business, then repeat them. That is how authority gets built. It doesn't get built through random posting or chasing trends every day or trying to comment on every headline. Pick your lanes and stay in them. That is how the internet starts understanding what bucket to place you in. And once you are clearly bucketed, your visibility starts to get much stronger. And that's what you want. Step 8, simply put, get mentioned outside your own website. You do not just want your own website talking about you. You want other trusted places on the web connecting your name to your expertise to your market. That means podcast appearances, guest articles, local features, event pages, association pages, community involvement, brokerage bios, team pages, partner pages, and even press mentions. Anywhere a legitimate third-party source can reinforce who you are and what you do, that's what matters. Because credibility compounds when it is corroborated. If your website says you are the local expert, that's nice. If your website says it, your YouTube says it, your Google reviews say it, local event pages mention it, podcast appearances enforce it, and community pages say it, now you have reinforcement. And that right there is powerful. So think beyond your own channels. Where else can you show up online in a way that reinforces your identity and your market? That is part of the strategy now. Step 9, title your content for how people search. Early on during the Loan Officer podcast, this is a step that I could have used knowing. A lot of people are making content with titles that mean nothing. Sure, they're cute. Sure, they're funny, but they're not powerful, and none of that helps. You want titles that describe the problem, the audience, and ideally, the market. For example, what first-time buyers in Orlando need to know before getting pre-approved. Or FHA versus conventional in today's market, what Central Florida buyers should know. Or thinking about moving to Winter Park, here's what buyers need to know. Those titles work because they are clear. The title itself becomes useful. And if your content is useful before somebody even clicks on it, you are already in a better spot. Same with your YouTube description, same with your page headline, same with your article titles. Name things clearly. Don't overthink it. Don't try to get too cute. But at the same time, don't be overly vague. Clear wins. And finally, that leads us to step 10. Build a real FAQ hub, frequently asked questions. If I were advising every loan officer and real estate professional on one tactical move they could make quickly, it would be this. Build a serious, frequently asked questions section for your website. Not a lazy one, but a real one. Organize it by category. Financing, buying, selling, credit, down payment, timeline, local market, neighborhoods, relocation, closing process. And then answer the questions clearly. Don't use legalese. Don't get bloated with your language. And please stay away from being vague. Just answer them straight up as if you were talking to an actual client. If people are asking AI those questions, your site should already have the answer. That is how you start becoming part of the answer layer, and make it local whenever possible. Not just how much do I need for a down payment, but how much do buyers in Central Florida typically need upfront when buying a home? Or not just what are closing costs, but what should buyers expect in closing costs in this market? Insert the market you serve, the market you live in, or the market that you're trying to grow inside of. That context, that's what matters. And I know I told you that we were only going to have 10 steps, but I'm going to throw in this bonus. It would be like bonus step 11. It's turn client experience into proof. Visibility without trust is incomplete. You do not just want to show up. You want to show up with credibility. That means proof matters. Reviews matter, testimonials matter, case studies matter. Stories. Oh, I love my stories. Stories matter. Real life examples, they matter. Without violating privacy or compliance, talk about the types of situations you help people through. Talk about first-time home buyers. Give a real life example. Discuss self-employed borrowers or relocating families or that VA buyer that you just helped, although he didn't think he was going to qualify. Those stories help your audience see themselves in your content. And they help the web understand the problems you are associated with solving. And that's huge because expertise is not just a title, but what it is, it's a pattern. And the more visible the pattern becomes, the stronger your authority becomes. Simply put, the more stories you share, the more authority you create. And here's the bottom line, y'all. The future of local visibility is not just about being loud. It's about being clear. It's about being understandable. It's about being relevant and trusted. And for LOs and realtors, it means this. If somebody asks the internet who they should talk to in your market, you want to make sure the internet has enough evidence and enough clarity and enough context to connect that question back to you. That's how the game is now. So clean up your identity, clarify your market, answer real questions, build pages that help people, collect proof, create content with context. Stop treating your website and your profile as like static brochures. They are not brochures anymore. They are signals. They are assets. They are part of how the modern consumer finds, evaluates, and trusts you. And the people who understand that now are going to have an advantage. The people who start focusing on this now are going to find themselves years ahead of their competition. If you got value from this episode and you want more conversations like this around real estate mortgage marketing visibility and where this industry is headed, do us a favor, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share this particular episode with at least one, if not two people that you know would benefit. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure you give us a 5-star review. That tells the algorithm to let other people know that this content doesn't suck. And if you ever need something, you can feel free to comment like crazy, or you can always reach out to me. I'm most easily found on Instagram and LinkedIn. On Instagram, I'm at the Loan Officer Podcast. On LinkedIn, I'm first name Dustin, last name Owen. I'm Dustin Owen, and you've just tuned in to an episode of The DO Show.